Hey guys, we are live. Welcome to Strongman Sunday, the last one before World's Strongest Man.
Just 3 days now, Loz.
3 days to go. I am excited. Like you guys know, I get stupidly excited for Strongman, and I know we all kind of have complained about this year's, but it's World's Strongest Man. Let's enjoy it. It's going to be fun. We've got some amazing athletes going, some new athletes, and when we have new athletes, we get new stars as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing how everyone does.
Yeah. No, it is interesting because the last time we had a large influx of new athletes, 2016, people were probably thinking the same thing. Oh, I don't know a lot of these names, but look at the talent that came out of that era. Mateusz, Martins, Luke. So, it's the natural evolution of the sport, isn't it? And I haven't been excited at all until today when I started to see the strongmen arriving.
Yeah. I don't know if everyone's seen athletes are out there.
Yeah, that makes me excited for them because it is nice to go to. It's exciting to get there,
especially for them. It's such a huge,
not for us.
Well, especially the new athletes.
That's what I mean.
It's such a huge thing to get to your first World's Strongest Man or get to World's Strongest Man. It's what so many of us do the sport for, and just to be there, it shows you one of the best in the world. And yeah, we want to wish everyone the best of luck. It's going to be a fun, good competition.
Let's see who's in the chat with us this evening. Sarah's here. Hello, Sarah. Bon Chocta's here. He's like one of the major World's Strongest Man hype men. Austin with a members comment here. Howdy from Texas. F5 season, the best time of the year. Is someone on Reddit? Well, they're not on, they don't live on Reddit, but someone posted a picture on Reddit that they got an F5 tattoo in honor of World's Strongest Man.
I don't think that was real.
I think it was real. See, we use Mac, so for us it's Control Shift. And then 5, I think. I can't even. No, R. That's
I just say, Lizzie. What's happening?
Loz clicks that. Well, yeah. To be fair, we don't even need to refresh them. The sheets actually refresh themselves. Yeah. We're ignoring the dog. Jane's in the chat. Matt Rag, dark horse to win, says Erebus.
Matt Rag's looking good.
Matt Rag.
I'm excited to see how he does. The thing with Matt is he's clearly a great strongman, but he doesn't compete very often.
No.
So I'm looking forward to seeing how he does. It was great chatting to him last week when I interviewed him. He's sounding confident, so certainly he's up there. I think he's going to do very, very well.
Yeah. Hedgehog gifting memberships. Thank you very much, Hedgehog. Enjoyed the group video, guys. It made me realize all of the exciting battles we're likely to have. Yeah, it was your idea to do it differently this year because I think our group's become a bit predictable because we're probably too sensible with it, aren't we? So we're like, okay, Seeds, American, Brit, and
and I'm looking forward to seeing what the actual groups will be because that's when you get excited because we can all have these ideas of what might happen, but until you see the 6 athletes that are put together in each individual group, it's very hard to, yes, there's certain athletes you just know are great. I mean, I find it very hard in any world to not see a Tom Stoltman going through to the final.
Yeah,
he's either going to win his group. And at worst, you can't see him placing in any group worse than 3rd.
No,
it just can't, unless something terrible happened, you just can't see it. So then you think, well, in a stone off, Tom wins. So you kind of do put, all your money, if you're a betting man, on someone like Tom to get through. But other athletes, I think we're going to see some exceptional battles. And I think that, we're going to have some exciting groups when we finally find them out.
Yeah.
Hopefully both Stoltmans aren't in the same group like we ended up putting
in, but that was quite
that would be interesting if it happened.
It would be interesting.
Andrew's list
for the final: Mitch, Tom, Trey, Evan, Matt, Ivers, Rauno, Luke, Yako, and Thomas.
Good list of athletes. Yeah, certainly possible.
Just trying to think if there's anyone obvious missing from that, and I don't think there is. No. I think Ivers has got a good chance this year. We know these group events are good for him, and Ivers is a great stone lifter as well. So
yeah, very solid.
Yeah, hoping he has not a nice group, but a manageable group. Has World's Strongest Man built the stand yet, or will everyone be standing 7 deep again?
I hope the stands are better than last year. I hope we're not having to.
It's seating this year. Hopefully, someone's built it. I have no idea. Has anyone gone over and had a look at where the competition's going to be held? It'd be interesting.
If any of you guys are going over, comment in the comment below and let us know if you
send us your photos as well.
Yes, definitely.
Be interested to see the progress of the venue. I don't realistically know how far along they'd be at this point. We just went down to the venue when it was time to compete, didn't we?
Yeah, very different back then.
It was just like some traffic cones blocking off an area on the street sometimes. We're in a car park. Hello, everyone. Hello, Daryl, Steady State. Lots of members in the chat tonight. Nice to see you. Hopefully, I appreciate not everyone can join us for each event, but hopefully lots of you will be up for the refresh parties on Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Make sure you come and join us for those, guys.
It's going to be a long old week.
I saw a comment, just looking at my phone, I saw a comment asking when Hicksey's planning on competing again. As far as I know, Hicksey is focused on the Deadlift World Championships. He's just been out training with Thor, and I believe one of their videos has either dropped or it's dropping tomorrow on Thor's channel. So that's pretty cool, having those two training together.
Yeah, that is
two
cool.
of the probably few that have a legitimate shot at the world record on the deadlift. Something to look forward to in the future. But yeah, Hicksey is training very hard for that. His body weight is light. He's 141 kilos right now, which is light for him, but he's looking strong.
Where are we? Hi, Uncle Loz and Auntie Liz. I'm so excited for Worlds and can't wait to watch those spreadsheets from Krishna. Yes,
indeed.
I'm excited too now that it's upon us. It seems to have crept up because it just was so quiet for so long. And I think that's why I wasn't excited. Like the last few years, I've gotten really excited for it because with each year I've seen progress from World's Strongest Man. And like, we hear a lot of the hubbub behind the scenes as well, don't we? So we're like, oh, they're thinking about this. I've not seen any progress this year. And I think that's why I've been feeling a bit.
Yeah, I hope when fans get there, it is going to be a good experience. And I'd really love to hear the feedback. Unfortunately, we're not going to be there. We will be online here. Please come and join us. But we want to hear, from people that are there, and let's see if they are making it better and more spectator friendly.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Daryl saying I'm going to have a very unproductive work week. I know people that have taken the week off work, or at least the second half. How can we watch? Unfortunately, you cannot, Joshua, unless you are there in person. You can't watch. This one?
Yeah.
I'm excited to see which new guys cause upset in the heats. Almost more excited for the heats than the final.
I think that the heat, World's Strongest Man is like two separate competitions, and that makes it very hard. We all say, strongman should be more than 6 events, and I totally agree. But let's be honest, World's Strongest Man is more than 6 events. They're 5 days of, it's 4 days of competition over 5 days, with a rest day in the middle. And that is tough. It is tough to do 12 events. Some of the athletes will do 12 events. Some of them will only have to do 11. But that's pretty tough. Now, if it was getting my own way, I'd like to see, probably 20 athletes battling over 12 events. But that's a suggestion I've put forward. And I understand why they don't do that. They want the individual groups, and the groups are exciting.
The reason they like the groups as well is because that's how it's sold as a TV package. So we can give you 6 episodes of this competition. But you know what, though? When you look at things like Physical 100, they manage to have everyone compete against each other, and you can still follow that story. I think there is a way to do
CrossFit
it.
is the same.
Yeah, exactly.
You have and then you have like an elimination, perhaps, to whittle it down. There's lots of ways to do it. I don't think we have to be stuck in the one way. No. And maybe cutting down to 20 athletes instead of 30 is something we should look at, because especially with all the last minute replacements and dropouts that we've had, and who should we kind of scramble to get as those last few.
I do like that it's 30 though, because it does give more people more opportunities.
It does.
If you think if absolutely everyone you expected to be in this year, so that includes the guys who have had to pull out, the likes of Maxime Boudreau, etc., were all in, that doesn't leave much space for new guys. So 30 is good in that respect.
But then you need the qualifying system to be well set up to get there.
Yes.
That's what needs to improve still, is how we get the athletes to World's Strongest Man. What is the structure? Yes, we do have
OSG.
We have OSG. Well, OSG.
But that's only for 3.
Let's get this right. OSG is a qualifier for a Giants Live, officially.
Officially.
Giants Live is the official qualifying route for World's Strongest Man.
But the majority of Giants
Top
Live
3,
is invitational.
Let me finish. Top 3 of the Giants Live get to World's Strongest Man as automatic qualifiers. The reality is, when we look at every single Giants Live, there's repeats.
Well, for the most part, it's invitational competition, isn't it?
Yeah. And then we've got to look at, we need a good system that's sat down, I think, with, people that are well established within the sport, to create a qualifying system and look and use other competitions. Competitions like the Arnold should be used. Competitions like the Shore Classic should be used. Maybe you look at competitions like the Magnus Magnuson Classic. You know, I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing out ideas at the moment, but we just need a better qualifying route so that athletes and fans understand. And then maybe have 5 wildcard spots at the end, so World's Strongest Man can have those people that they want to represent from different places or a certain reason that you want. But as long as we all know, right, this many are qualifying from this route, this is how we get there, and then there's 5 spaces up for wildcard athletes, then fair enough. It's, you know, everyone understands the route. Whereas at the moment, it's so confusing because it changes every year.
Yeah. Ben, thank you for becoming a member. What thoughts on Rob Kearney making it to the final?
These are actually really good events for Rob in the heat. He's exceptional when it comes to yokes, car walks. Viking press, he's very, very solid at. He's decent at loading, and I think the fact that it's 3 implements as this part of it, which usually it's 2 implements on a steeplechase, it's 3 this time, which brings conditioning and fitness a little bit more into it. I think that suits him. He's a solid stone lifter. He's not someone that I would put as like a guarantee to win a stones. He is one of those guys that I would put a lot of strongmen in, that if they get the advantage of being in second place, there's a good chance he gets through. He's got a chance. I don't think he's a given by any means, but these are much better events than he's had in the past. And I think he'll be looking at it, believing in himself and believing he can get to the final. Obviously, you know, we might see his group and that might change. You don't know, because the reality is Rob isn't going to be a seed. No. So that changes things a little bit. And then it's who of the seeds that you get in the group, who of the wild kind of cards, the new people who you get in there.
Their strengths and weaknesses, etc.
So until we see the group, it's hard to say, but he's certainly, you know, in with a shot.
This is a good question. Loz, as an athlete, does it matter not knowing who's in your group? Would it change anything to know?
Not in terms of the lead up. You're going to train as hard as you can to get as good as you can on every single event. What can change with a group will potentially be tactics as you get into the comp. Because at the moment, without knowing, you literally have to think, okay, I've got to go flat out on every single event. What can affect things is, you know, who your opposition is, and then the strategy towards certain events. It's not going to affect much. Like the reality is, event number 1, you're given 100%. There should be nothing else in your thought process. But obviously, depending on who's in your group and how your group plays out will dictate how hard you push on certain events. You might get, say you're an amazing deadlifter and you get an easy deadlift group. You're going to have the luxury of holding back on an event. At the moment, without knowing who's in your group, the reality is you're just thinking, I've got to go 100%. So at the moment, while they don't know, every athlete should just be thinking, all right, I'm preparing as well as I can to give my best.
Members comment here from Mitchell saying, looking forward to Mitch and Tom's axle battle. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. And
who else do you reckon could really challenge them on the axle?
Well, when I think about the other, you know, people in contention for that podium spot, you know, prediction wise, I don't see Evan or Matt Ragg challenging either of those two.
From talking to Matt, he doesn't sound confident.
He didn't sound confident. He sounded a bit worried about the axle.
Evan, looking at his training, sounds extremely confident, but that's Evan.
It's not Luke Stockman's favorite overhead by any means.
I think Pavlo could be decent.
Pavlo could do well. What about Rob Kearney? Because
Rob is decent at axle.
He's explosive.
I don't think he'd beat Tom or Mitch.
No, I don't
decent,
think so.
But he's got to get to the final.
I expect those two to be 1 and 2.
I really can't see anyone beating those two out of these athletes. There may be someone that I don't know so much about.
Exactly.
You know, there's a lot of new faces that are.
I think I'm being cool.
You go see Alexa.
Sorry.
But there's a lot of new people to World's Strongest Man, and axle's not something we've seen that much of recently. So even the comps that we can kind of look at where they've done log, etc. Like I said before, log is not the same as axle. So we have to wait and see. There's going to be surprises. There always is when it comes to Worlds. Hey Elliot, I hope you are well, buddy. So I drive past Elliot most mornings when I'm taking my son to school. I will see you at the bus stop tomorrow. Reno, thank you very much for the super chat. great to see World's Strongest Man finals in person this weekend, or going to see World's Strongest Man finals in person this weekend, and it will be my first comp. Wow, Worlds is your first comp. Awesome. We'll stop by following the spreadsheet party. You still be following the spreadsheet party. I hope you really enjoy it. Let us know how it goes. Obviously, we're not there this year, so love to hear feedback from the fans, and hopefully it's an amazing experience. So I know the athletes, there's going to be certain times that you can approach the athletes, try and leave the athletes when they are getting ready for the competition. But after the competition, they're all pretty friendly if you want to meet any of them. But yeah, have an amazing time, and I hope you enjoy it. Just expect a lot of waiting around at World's Strongest Man. There's a lot of getting the camera shots right. It's not like, you've never been to any shows before, so there's no expectations. But if you've been to a Giants Live or some of the one-day shows, they kind of just get on with it and it runs. Whereas at Worlds, a lot of it is you'll see a TV show first, so they're kind of making sure they get the shots they want. They'll send the drone up. There's a bit of stop-start to it, but once it starts, it's great fun. And obviously, we want to see these athletes doing amazing, so go and support your favorites. Monica, how are you? Before the start, I'll see if Magnus wanders over that way. I don't know if you're talking to us or someone else there, but I hope you are well. I take it you're not going this year, Monica. Correct me if I'm wrong. Hopefully you are. I forget that you guys just have your own chats in here now. That's why Liz kind of keeps on top of this. So who have we got here? Chris. Hey, Liz and Loz and Liz. My thoughts are Mitch, Tom, Evan, and Luke for top 4. It'd be an amazing top 4. Luke would be over the moon with that. I think Luke is looking solid. I knew Luke would do well at Europe. The events were really good. So likewise, I think he's going to do very well in the heats. I don't think Luke will be top 4 in the final. However, I would love to see him do it. He's looking in great form, the best form I've seen him in a long time. He has some good events in the final. And again, it comes down to who's in that final with him. But that's the thing with Strongman. You look at the events of the heats, you think, if that was the final set of events, I think Luke is dangerous. Just don't see the same for him when it comes to the events in the final. However, more than happy for Luke to prove me wrong. Stortmans are there already. Ask him if the venue is ready. We'll have to ask them. Lots of the athletes, if you guys follow the athletes on Instagram, you'll see lots of them arriving. I think Rauno's been having issues, hasn't he?
Rauno is in an airport in the USA.
Rauno's stuck in an airport with a delayed flight.
Delayed, yeah. I asked him, where's my updates?
But lots of the athletes are there now.
Yeah, here they are.
Laura says, Hicksy is looking strong. He is indeed training very hard. Stephen, what's happened to Luke Richardson? So Luke injured his hamstring a couple of months ago. He had to have surgery on that. He is back training. Unfortunately, obviously, he had to pull out of Europe's Strongest Man and some other shows that he had planned. But he is back training hard, and hopefully we see him perhaps later in the year or early next year.
Autumn's booked some time off for World's Strongest Man weight parties and spreadsheet updating. What do we actually do? Not a lot.
We chat.
We chat, yeah.
And then we get all excited when events results start coming in.
Yeah. What are the UK times for World's Strongest Man spreadsheet watch parties? So I'm going to schedule everything within the next day or so. So you'll be able to see it on the channel. The first event starts, what is it? It's 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's sort of early afternoon. I think about 2 p.m. UK time. Yeah. And then, isn't it? Yeah. So there's going to be one at about 2, one at about 5-ish. And then I think one at about 8 or 9-ish in the evening. So it's all in the second half of the day for us. Loved Mitch's comment tagging World's Strongest Man on Instagram.
So the bleachers are up.
Oh, okay. Bleachers are up. We've got.
I had a picture. Well, this is a live camera, actually.
Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah. The flags are moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a picture
at all. You can see that.
It's a webcam feed. Oh, that's the volleyball cam, isn't it?
Yeah.
Boosted Chicken's been asking for information on Wide Pavlo. Did you talk about Pavlo?
So Wide Pavlo had a very bad car accident and really messed up his leg pretty badly. However, he is back training. He's recovering, and he's putting these little snippets of clips on his Instagram showing that he's coming back.
He's wide again.
He's very secretive at the moment. There's not like a lot of posts, but he kind of does these shush kind of emojis, and he clearly he's training hard quietly. I think I don't know if we'll see him back this year. Did you give her a loud toy?
She's got her duck. I didn't give it to her. She's got her duck.
But he is back training. However, I don't think we'll see him compete this year. I think hopefully next year we see him again. You're going to have to get that offer.
Okay. Let's leave you with this comment from Andy. Schoonbickel looked impressive last year until the injury. How do you think he'll do this year?
I think this is an athlete that is going to be very interesting to watch. Now, Yako really impressed me last year. And anyone that makes the final, anyone that can beat guys like Brian Shaw in a group, you have to take seriously. The problem with Yako is that it's really the only comp we've got to go off. And I like to see, you kind of know from watching a lot of stuff with me, I always talk about events. And right now we don't have enough data on what he's good at and what he's not so good at. If he comes in and smashes this, then you've got to start taking him seriously for any competition. But at the moment, we've got that he made the final of World's Strongest Man last year. I've seen his training. He's looking very solid, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he does. But yeah, he's a hard one to predict.
He's still quite an unknown, isn't
he? He is very much an unknown, and
but exciting.
Yeah, because when you don't compete that often, people can suddenly think, this guy's amazing. But let's take Gav Bilton, towards the end of last year. He had a little role where he was just on fire. He was hitting podium after podium, really impressive at the Britain's Strongest Man. He was really impressive at the World Open, Giants Live World Open. He was on the podium there. His last two comps haven't been so good. And when people compete regularly, you start to kind of see when someone's in shape, when they're not so in shape, what weaknesses they have. You see what events they're doing in that competition, and you kind of figure out where they are. So we just need a bit more data from Yako to really kind of get a good idea of where he is in, like, if we had like a world ranking. Yeah. But from what I've seen, he's great, and I'm excited to see what he does this year.
Jimmy asking if there's a link to the spreadsheet yet. So if you go on Strongman Archives and then click the tab that says upcoming competitions, you'll see World's Strongest Man is next in line. If you click on that right now, it's going to show you the 30 athletes and the finals events. But come the day, I think Archives is down today, but I know they're getting it back up and running from working hard on it. But it was. I hope we don't have any problems. What they'll do, though, there will be a Google spreadsheet as well. So no matter what, we'll have a spreadsheet. If it's not the one on Archives, then we will share it in the chat. There you go. Back up already. They're just testing.
So if you just go to upcoming comps, it's the first one on there. And then, I don't know if you can see that, but it's got World's Strongest Man, all the athletes competing in there.
The spreadsheet will be on that page.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you have your spies lined up, guys? Do you know what? The amount of people that I know that have messaged me, Liz, I can FaceTime you, I can send you videos. I was like, thank you so much. So yeah, we've got plenty of moles in place, which is nice. It's nice. We'll be getting information through very, very quickly, hopefully. Where are we? It was so much better when it went from 25 to 30 athletes, as Bron chopped.
Yeah, I think 5 in a group is just not enough.
Oh, well, yeah. And, there's often an injury, isn't
there? Yeah, I'm not saying I want 20 athletes and then, split it into groups of 4. I would just like to see 20 athletes compete against each other. I think 30 would be a bit too many, unless you kind of got rid of them. Maybe you have 12 events and get rid of 10 after 4, get rid of another 10 after 8, and then you're left with, 10 for the final, let's say. Yeah.
This one here is 2024. We're able to identify atmosphere and temperature on exoplanets, but we can't have a decent World's Strongest Man stream. Thanks for making the best video too. It is crazy.
Believe me, guys,
no one gets more.
I try to be positive, but we want a live stream.
I know.
Obviously.
A watch party would be so much more fun. Anthony, I'm so upset about Rongo. Yeah, I'm upset for Rongo because last year he invested so much time and money into getting himself his visa, so he's free to travel wherever. Yeah. Obviously, his Giants Live debut didn't go well for him because he got sick on the way over and then was just horribly sick on the day, wasn't he? And it's
very difficult for the guys in that part of the world as well, because they don't get that many opportunities.
No,
it's such a long way to come for competitions.
Yeah,
they don't get a huge amount of sort of publicity.
No,
it's very difficult, and he's tried everything, and he's done very well. Other than that Giants Live performance where it didn't go to plan, he's done well in the Champions League. He's been on the podium twice at the Shaw Classic. He's a great strongman.
Yeah. Now, I haven't seen this comment, so I'm not going to verify. Apparently, Darren said that they didn't want to change things like the stone off because the viewers wouldn't like change, but the viewers didn't mind it being in USA. Tradition of moving has pretty much gone.
I haven't.
I
I'm not going to put
comment.
words in people's mouths without knowing for sure what people have said.
No,
so.
But I think the casual viewer wouldn't know any difference if it was a stone off or not.
The reality is, I think a lot of casual viewers probably do like the stone off.
They probably do.
For them, it's some kind of excitement.
Yeah.
But for people that know about the sport or get behind certain athletes and understand the advantage and disadvantage
of one event being the dictating, then it's more painful for us. More hardcore fans, I guess. And
I personally wouldn't mind a stone off as a tiebreaker.
Yes, as a tiebreaker.
Have the competition and do 6 events in the heats. Everyone does all 6 events. If some people end up tied at the end, then do the stone off as a tiebreaker instead of countback or last event rule. I think that would be cool. But just the way they do it at the moment, I just don't think it's great.
TH saying that the purple World's Strongest Man shirt fit and looked awesome on Lars. What size did you get?
Very much. I got double XL. Not as big as I used to be. Although I put on a few pounds, although I'm starting to lose a few pounds again. Training's going well. I'm enjoying my training right now. I'm actually getting a little bit stronger. I'm not strong, not like World's Strongest Man strong, but each week I'm feeling a bit stronger. I even got a compliment on my calves the other day from Auntie Liz.
Yes.
And I haven't had compliments on my calves since I Achilles injury.
Yeah, there you go.
But I've been training my calves really hard because of when I tore my Achilles, and then we kind of went into lockdown and I'd retired, and I was just like, because of lockdown, physio stopped and stuff like that. I didn't put as much into the rehab as I should have, and it's caused me problems for a long time. But now I'm sort of training quite hard, and I'm training my calves actually 3 times a week, but not necessarily heavy, but lots of volume, and they're actually getting stronger. Or the weak one is getting stronger, and I'm starting to put a bit of size back on them. They don't look so terrible anymore. So I look like I have some legs again.
They've been terrible. It was quite funny because SBD got in touch with Loz, and they were like, "Oh, we want to send you guys the shirts for this year. What size would you like?" So Loz said, and then said, "Oh, a small for Liz, please." And they were like, "Oh, we'd recommend a medium because Liz is so tall." And I was like, "I'm really not that tall."
I actually had a message sent to me this week saying, "Oh, your wife's really tall, or are you just really short?" I'm a lot taller than Liz, just not sat down because Liz is all torso.
Yeah, I've got no
legs. She has diddy little legs.
Yeah.
But if we stood up, I won't stand up here. But like
you're down here. I've got the legs of a toddler, haven't I?
So many people kind of meet me and they're kind of usually shocked at how tall I am. A lot of people think I'm a midget, I think, until they meet me.
Because you sat next to a woman that's the same height. If Rauno wins World's Strongest Man, what does Liz buy her best friend? I would throw Rauno a party the way he threw himself one.
If Rauno makes the final,
I think we should throw him a party. If Rauno makes the final, we will invite him to the UK at our expense for a weekend of training and shenanigans. How's that?
Sounds good, Rauno.
There you go, Rauno. There's your incentive if ever you needed one. And that would make some fun content, actually, because after this, he's vowed he's not doing any competitions until the Deadlift World Championships, and that's going to be his sole focus. So there you go. That will be our gift to Rauno. Cousin Fred gifting the memberships. Thank you so much, Fred. And you know what? I think I accidentally skipped over your super chat there. Sorry, Fred. Very rude. Thank you very much. Good morning, afternoon, evening. Hope all is well. Haven't seen the video. So who is in the group of death? So we don't have the actual group yet.
We made up some groups.
Yeah, but what we did.
But group 5 was pretty tough.
Yeah, we did it differently this year. So we seeded our athletes, and then we took from 3 containers, didn't we? First seeds, second seeds, and then everyone else. So 1, and 4 from that tub to see how it would pan out. And I think group 5 was probably the toughest. It was quite fun though, because we had Tom and Luke Stoltman in the same group, didn't we?
Yeah.
So yes.
We just did it randomly and that happened.
Very random. Yeah. If Rauno wins, he should buy Liz a gift. I agree. I have a lovely picture to share, a Team Liz picture. It's Rauno in the purple top, but he's not happy with the picture at all, is he? I don't think he likes that purple. No. Where are we? Anthony, thank you for the super chat. I'm a little upset Rongo didn't get an invite up. So you super chatted what you said. But yeah, no, we agree. I would, in the very least, I would love to see Rongo invited to another Giants Live this year. She's got a bone. It's not a real bone. It's a toy bone that squeaks and thunks. But I would like to see Rongo maybe travel earlier for the show.
Yeah.
If he got another opportunity to do a giant slide, plenty of time to acclimatise.
He was over for a while, wasn't he? But
he was over for a few days before, but he travelled with his whole family and children.
But he stayed after, didn't he?
He stayed more
after,
afterwards.
Before,
yeah. It was Matt Ragg that came for a long time before, not Rongo. Yeah, I think he got there like 2 or 3 days before. Yeah.
Matt actually said his trip to the UK was worse than to America.
Yeah. To be fair, when we flew back from Australia, that was awful.
It's a tough trip for those guys coming that far.
Yeah. Scotland with the members comment, get rid of the stone off or groups. I would love to get rid of the stone off. I would really love it. And I would love to see 12 men in the final. I loved how they did it in 2014.
With the 2 wild cards.
Yeah, so the 2 highest placing, wasn't it, out of the groups that didn't qualify. They got to go into the final. Yeah. That was good. There's definitely space for 12.
Yeah.
Where are we? We need wife Pablo back. He was so impressive.
I think he will be back. He's still a young man, and he's already up at 170 kilos. He did lose quite a bit of weight, but he's looking pretty wide again.
Yeah.
And his upper body strength is coming back quickly. He just needs to get that lower body strength where he needs it to be.
How is both training going? Advice on weight loss, says Callum with a members comment.
Training for me or for Liz?
Mine will go better afterwards.
The best advice I can give with weight loss is just kind of trying not to rush things. I think a lot of people try and lose weight too quickly, and then instantly you kind of have a rebound when you stop. You have to kind of focus more on changing habits if you kind of really want to succeed at losing weight. I try not to sort of restrict too much. Like, I do times where I'll go on a stricter diet, but me on a strict diet is not restricting calories. Even right now on a training day, I'm eating about 3,800 calories a day, and on a non-training day about 3,200 calories. So it's a decent amount of food. If I try and reduce my calories too much, I then want to cheat more often.
You'd be so hungry.
Yeah, because I'm forcing myself to kind of drop so quickly that it's much harder for me to sustain. So I'm much better off eating regularly, eating foods that I enjoy, but obviously controlling those portion sizes and controlling the options in terms of what you're eating. I can't just eat what I want because I won't lose weight. It's as simple as that. You have to sometimes kind of admit that, okay, if I want to lose some weight, I'm going to have to restrict myself somewhere. And it's just having the discipline to do that. It's, losing weight is not hard. It's in terms of what to do.
Yeah.
Just being able to stick to it.
It still requires a lot to willpower, doesn't it? You have
willpower.
To really want to do it.
It's not like complicated.
No.
You just have to, stick with it and understand, you have to burn calories.
And sometimes just be comfortable being uncomfortable as well. Yeah. Like if you're feeling
hungry. Like sometimes there'll be nights where I'm like starving and I've already had all my food. And I'll just say to Liz, I'm just going to go to bed because if I stay up, I'll probably eat something I shouldn't.
Yeah.
So sometimes like boredom can also, act in the same way. I think prepping food is really important. If I've got everything prepped, I'm great because I'm going to eat at a certain time. That stops me getting hungry. That makes me eat my food. If I get hungry and then go to the shops, all carnage breaks out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So right now I'm being pretty disappointed. We went to Chinese for lunch today. That's the first off-plan meal I've had in 3 weeks. But we were still pretty sensible with what we had.
It was mostly vegetables and meats, wasn't it?
Yeah, I had like quite a bit of sushi, and then it was like I didn't even have like carb choices, to be honest, because the carb choices there weren't great. So I just stuck with more meat type options. We didn't have any desserts or anything like that. It was just we were out with the family, weren't we? It was just easier than coming home and cooking. But it was nice to have a meal without the dog trying to
eat our food. Yeah. It was nice.
If you want to lose weight, get a dog, and the dog will steal most of your food.
Yeah. Hawkeye, thank you for the super chat. Just throwing this out there as a merch idea. Angry Rano plushie.
Angry Rano plushie.
I absolutely love that idea. Do you know what? I did look, and I don't know if I was looking in all the wrong places, but I did look for like plushies, sort of wholesale style plushies that you can personalize. And I couldn't really find anything. It was quite expensive for what I wanted to do. And I just thought, I don't think people are going to want to spend that much money on them.
You were like, I don't love him that much.
No, I don't have that much faith in this product. But I mean, maybe just get one for ourselves.
Yeah.
Because he's got some snugsies of us, hasn't he?
He has, yes.
Michael, thank you for becoming a member. Welcome all new members. There is we do need to do a lot more members only content, but there is quite a backlog of videos in there now, isn't there?
Yeah. We will do a members only live afterwards as well.
Yeah. Will anyone be allowed to do a commentary live stream? So that's essentially what we're going to do. We're going to be able to see it on our phones and commentate it to you guys. We absolutely cannot show the footage on camera. The second we do that, we get a copyright strike. They are going to be looking very, very closely because they've got the Jumbotron this year. They have a whole social media team that will be on YouTube looking for anything that matches their footage, and it will come down really quickly. And they'll be brutal as well. The channels will come down too. So can't show anything, unfortunately. I do have media credentials, so we'll have access to some B-roll that we can use in our recap videos and also photos. But that's all we can do really is commentate it, isn't it?
We'll just have our own little party and have fun with it.
This is a good question. If you could live anywhere in the UK with expense not being a consideration, where would you live? Lake Country, Cotswolds. Do you know what? Where we would live would not be the most expensive place. I would live up in the Cairngorms, which you would get so much more land and house for your money than you do down here. The thing that stops me is how remote it is and how far away, from our extended family it would be. Yeah.
Well, I'd move to America, but Liz isn't so keen.
No offense, America.
I'd also move to Australia.
I would move to Australia. Yeah, again,
but obviously, family is kind of what keeps us where we are.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, complicate things anymore than
we're not sort of big city people, are we? We prefer the country.
No, we're not city people at all, and we're really close to the Cotswolds, 30-minute drive when we're in there. So
where we live, we're on the edge of Swindon, and it's actually just drive around the countryside on a nice day. It's gorgeous around here.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you've only got to cross the road, and it's open fields, isn't it? And it is nice. So we're quite happy where we are. We've got the best of most worlds. It's not the cheapest place for what it is.
No, it's not that far from London. So the closer you get to London, the prices in the UK get more and more expensive.
Yeah, they get crazy. If you're going to World's Strongest Man, for the love of Zadrunas, hydrate and bring sunscreen. Yeah, I was looking at some of the guys' pictures. Oscar.
Was it Oscar? You just said he needs
shirtless. I was like, he needs some factor 50 on that skin.
This is something that athletes that haven't been in hot climates need to understand. You're not there for a holiday. Stay out of the sun. I've seen a lot of people sort of make the mistake going to their first Worlds of just getting by the pool, chilling out, getting badly sunburned, and then screwing up the whole competition because they're dehydrated and they're in pain. You're not there for a holiday.
Sunstroke.
Yeah.
Mitchell, thank you for the super chat. Where do you think the biggest chance of either Mitch or Tom to drop points could be? Are we expecting drama or both guys to make good work of each event? I think potentially, this is just based off previous results. Tom might drop points on the cone and circle. Yeah, and Mitch might on the throw.
I don't think Mitch will on the throw.
No,
he was second at the throw at the Arnolds.
He was.
And I don't think there's enough guys that will make him drop big points.
No,
I think Tom can beat him on the throw.
Yeah.
But if you're talking Mitch dropping points, I don't see it. I think both can win. If I'm being completely honest with, obviously I coach Mitch. I've seen how his training's going. And let's just go off the last few competitions. Mitch is very good at performing under pressure. And I think his ability to be so consistent on every event will put a lot of pressure on Tom. Tom is going to have to put in an amazing performance to beat him. And Tom is capable of that, World's Strongest Man. So, I do think this is going to be a great competition. But I think Mitch's consistency is going to put a lot of pressure on Tom, that if Tom makes one mistake, it's going to cost him big time. I think Mitch will be there every single event, second, first, third. I can't see him placing 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th
No.
on any event in the final.
But order is going to be so important. We talked about this before, didn't we?
If Tom can get the ball rolling and win the first event, perhaps, and then get to go after Mitch on everything, that is going to put pressure on Mitch. That's what Tom needs to do. He needs to put that pressure on the champion, just like in the past other champions had. We've seen, someone that was so good at it in his prime was Lysis. He just consistently get points. And that's where Mitch is right now. He's not the best at everything, not by a long shot. He doesn't have a weakness. So that's why he's winning so many comps and getting on so many podiums. But, we've seen him beaten before. But I'm going to, I believe in Mitch 100% for this competition. He is looking very, very good.
Paris asking if there's any word on the group announcements and hoping that it'll be improved over last year where Mitch ended up doing it because the live stream failed. There has been no word about any type of stream announcement. I strongly suspect it's going to be an Instagram post. I would love to be proven wrong. But last year, because it wasn't last year, it was the year before. They were having like an update, a results show in between that Terry was doing. They didn't do that last year.
No,
did
they didn't.
No.
That 2 years ago, we actually ended up announcing the
events
with Terry.
With Terry, yeah, the groups.
So they actually asked us to do it with Terry, which was fun. But nothing like that this year.
No.
They've got a different team working on Worlds now, and
in terms of social media.
Yeah.
And it shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Not gonna lie, I'm not sure what I do without the Loz and Liz spreadsheet live if they do a live stream one day. Do you know what though? The spreadsheet would still be a very important part of things. How else could we possibly track how 30 athletes
what would change
doing?
we'd be doing a watch along party.
Yes, and we'd still need our spreadsheets.
And we still plan on doing that with some of the other comps that we can't make. So
yeah, definitely.
We won't be at the Shore Classic this year, but we'll do a watch along party for sure. So if you guys will be watching along, join us for that. But this is just a result along party.
A result along party. Rauno always seems to get stuck in airports or lose his luggage. Only in recent years. He used to be a very frequent flyer, very capable flyer, but he's made all sorts of mishaps recently, hasn't he? Sorry, Loz is just tackling the dog and blocking the light. Oh my goodness. How do dogs find everything? It doesn't matter how tidy it is, how puppy proof it is. Dogs will find everything. Catherine saying it's usually the Stoltmans who lose their luggage. Yeah.
Losing your luggage is the worst. Luckily, it only ever happened to me once.
Yeah.
At a competition.
You were so grumpy about it, weren't you?
I wasn't. If you remember, I stayed really relaxed and I won the competition still.
You did win the competition.
I was grumpy that I lost my luggage, but I decided to not let it affect me.
You actually turned up to the competition late, didn't you? Because the airport people were bringing your case to you and you was like sort of stomping along, thank you. And then like you sort of left after all the other athletes. It was in the Faroe Islands, wasn't it? Yeah. I was getting a running commentary. I think I was on the phone to you at the time. Have you considered using Holly to power your home? She has enough energy. Oh, you have no idea.
Funny thing is, for a lot of the day, she just sleeps. But
not when we're on a live. Evan has been uncharacteristically quiet coming into this, says Anthony. Ooh.
He's been training. Like, if you want to follow his Instagram, he's been training hard. I did ask him to come on for a chat, actually, but he didn't get back to me. He seems very focused on what he's doing. I think he's trying to avoid. Evan gets a lot of love and he gets a lot of hate. And I think that can affect your mental capacity when you're trying to focus on a competition. I think it's probably good for him to have that tunnel vision of focusing on the job.
I think so too. I think Evan gets a really unfair amount of hate. I know when you decide to be this sort of villain, you have to expect it, but his results speak for themselves. Like, Evan's a great athlete and he's had some really good wins against the best guys. So some of the things people say is really not even true, is it?
No.
You can dislike the character, but he's a great athlete.
Yeah. What's this one? Interesting question. 2 guys too soon.
2 guys gone too soon.
Who was the better strongman? Mike Jenkins or Dominic Fillier? Both were great. Yeah, absolutely. It's terrible to see, I mean, one of them was a very good friend of mine. I never got to meet Dominic, unfortunately, but I was very good friends with Mike. And I mean, without question, Mike was the better strongman. No offense to Dominic Filio. He was a very good strongman, but he wasn't even close to the level of Mike.
Mike won the Arnold's.
Yeah, but I mean, Dominic came third at Worlds when World's Strongest Man split. You know, that's not his fault. He beat who was there. But if you look at all his results, they weren't the best. Whereas Mike was legitimately, I think, going to go on to win World's Strongest Man.
Yeah.
He beat, you know, probably one of the few people to beat Zydrunas on log when Zydrunas was at his best. He was an absolute beast.
How would Liz, yes, I mean Liz, do with these events? Well, presumably the weights have been adjusted accordingly.
Yeah.
I was going to say, otherwise I'd do bugger all.
If we're not adjusting the weights, nothing's moving. You did have a go on the punch machine today, and you did better than the boys that were there before you.
There were these teenage boys we were at the arcade, and they were using the punch machine.
I hope none of them are watching. By
Loz is like, I can't believe how weak these kids are. He's like, Lizzie, punch this.
They weren't like 8-year-old kids. They were teenagers, some of these.
Yeah.
And I wasn't very impressed.
I do have a freakishly powerful punch. Loz doesn't know this from personal experience. Do we know how heavy the Webster stones are? I believe they're similar in weight to the nickel stones. Yeah.
So about, I guess the heavy ones around the 300-pound mark.
Yes.
The lighter ones or 250-ish, something like that.
But size-wise, they're going to be more like the Dinny stones.
Interesting.
Which presents a challenge in itself, doesn't it? Because
the nickel stones, like, they're not the heaviest, but they are awkward. They're very awkward stones to carry. So sort her out. I think most of us are in that kind of position, Christopher. We would happily pay for a live stream, and I've seen so many people say the same. But unfortunately, still not happening. Crazy, isn't it, that we're excited to watch some results, but here we are. I know there's people complaining about it, and you know, I don't want you to kind of think, oh, I'm accepting it for what it is. It is what it is, and we've got to get on with it. But I want a live stream. I want to be able to watch it, you know, as all of us do. Evan's been training with Brian in Colorado. Yeah, there was a number of the Americans there training with. I think that was quite cool. Them getting together, training. Bobby was there as well. It's pretty cool. Tell us about Iron Bibby. Iron Bibby is training hard for the Deadlift World Championships. I believe he pulled 400 kilos on an axle recently. Did you see that?
I didn't see it. No. Bibby's such an interesting person because after he lifted the log lift world record, he said on camera to me, "Oh, next I'm going for the deadlift world record." I was like, "What? Do you even deadlift?" In my normal offensive self. No, I said, like, "What's your max deadlift ever?" Because you've never trained for a max deadlift, have you? He said, "No, but I've lifted 440." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
An immensely strong man. Just ridiculous strength. The leg strength on him is crazy. Obviously, the shoulder strength we know about, but he's very, very powerful. I'm interested to see what he can pull. I don't believe we'll see a world record. I think the lockout is going to be his issue. He's very strong off the floor. Okay. When you have quads that big, it pushes the bar out in front of you, which makes it very difficult. Yeah. But he's training hard for that. So he will be in Vegas for the Deadlift World Championships.
Matty saying you mentioned about being close to having a live stream this year. How comes it's not happened? So basically, one of the companies that broadcasts the World's Strongest Man in their country, I won't name them, they got cold feet. And they were like, no, we're pulling the plug on this. I don't know.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
See, I don't even know. Liz knows this stuff. When it gets all boring and technical, I just switch off.
Yeah. I talk more to the broadcast side of things. So, yeah.
Deep down, I'm just still a grumpy competitor.
Yeah. You don't care about the logistics in the house. Just make it happen. Yes, 100% we'll do this. We'll do this on the Friday. After the group stages, we'll compare all of the results into a spreadsheet. How would everyone have performed against each other? So I think that's a really fun, interesting way to look at the stats that come out of the groups.
Yeah. Rongo has done a few SCL comps and done well in some of them.
Yeah, he has. Yeah. And he was a winner of the Magnus Ver Magnusson Classic, came second last year as well. Rongo's a great athlete. I would love to see him, throw a man a bone, you know, just given an opportunity. Like some people get those chances and some people just don't seem to.
And they said, sorry, the Darren thing was from a Giants Life podcast a couple of years back.
Okay.
Not trying to put words anywhere. No, that's cool.
No, that's fine.
And, you know, look, we all say things that we might change our mind on as well. It's not to say Darren hasn't changed his mind. Maybe he hasn't. I'm not saying he has. But, you know, I think sometimes we try things. I know from talking to Colin changes his mind about things. You know, there's things he's done that he regrets. There's things he's done that he wants to change. We all live and learn. And I think what we've got to do as a community in Strongman is not be afraid to discuss things. Because I do think some people are like, well, they're my mates. I'm just going to take what they say and that's that. I always try not to do that. Just because someone's my mate doesn't mean I always agree with them. And doesn't mean I'm right. I don't want to sit here and say I know all the answers. I don't. I just like us all to discuss things so that we can try and figure out the best way between us to move forwards. And sometimes I upset people because of that. But it's never me having a personal dig at people. I just want the sport to be bigger and better for everyone. I don't care who does it. We've all got to work together to make that happen, I think.
Jones, Stoneoff needs to get in the bin.
Yes, it does, man.
Rodders, thank you for the super chat. Look at the spy cam. The stands are a lot bigger.
They are.
Yeah.
Yes, it looks like a proper stand.
Yes, very exciting.
Rongo's doing SCL Serbia in 4 weeks. That's cool.
Good. Loz, you're an XXL? I'm an XXXL. I'm getting too big, says Rick.
Just getting fat, mate. Sorry, Rick, I'm teasing you.
Poor Rick.
I've been XXL before.
XXXL.
Probably.
Yeah. Oh dear. Shane is in the chat. Where is Shane? Where is Shane?
There he is.
Ah, bless you, Shane.
You should be out there, buddy. I hope you're doing okay. Shane has a new YouTube channel. If you don't follow him, go and follow it. We need to go follow him as well. Subscribe.
I think I did subscribe from this account. Shane, correct me if I'm wrong.
Shane, if we haven't, blame Liz. Okay.
And I will straight after this stream.
Because you know I'm useless at all this.
Yeah.
So
Liz
I can't
doesn't
take
know how
my
to
blame.
subscribe to a channel. Oh dear. Great to see you on the live stream, Shane. There we go. Ivan, thank you for the super chat. Greetings from Swindon. Thank you as always for the great content. There we go.
How you doing,
Hello,
buddy?
Ivan. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're very well. Enjoying your YouTube channel, Shane. Excited to see how the series progresses. So he's doing a series now about his.
Shane has taken the sort of injury really well.
Yeah,
you know, and look, if you do strongman, highly likely you're going to get injured at some point. If you are scared of getting injured, don't try and compete in strongman at a high level. I'll say that to anyone because it's a brutal sport. You can train safely to do just general training. If you want to be the best at anything in the world, particularly a physical sport, there is going to be times where you will take a risk and put your body on the line. Unfortunately, Shane got bit. His bicep didn't behave, but he's going to learn from it and come back better. He's a great athlete. Hasn't been able to show his best at Worlds, but we're seeing better and better performances from Shane at other comps. He's going to go recover, and we wish him the best. He's a good lad, and wish you the best, mate.
Oh, dearie me.
What are you daring me again?
The dog.
She's learning. She'll be better.
Jane, thank you very much for gifting a membership. Can we get the dog on the stream? I just want the dog to sleep.
Yeah. You know, we take her to a puppy class. Where
she sleeps through that, doesn't she?
It's four puppies. They were all up learning stuff the other day, and she's asleep.
Fast asleep. The trainer's like, never.
She's doing great. She is doing great. Just
this is the hardest part of the day. Yeah.
Do you want to go check on her?
Yeah. She's going to wake up.
Yeah.
Kids.
Where are we? Alex, I've definitely been Stockholmed, and now the Loz and Liz spreadsheet party is genuinely one of my favorite times of the year. To be fair, that's because you guys are absolute legends. Thank you very much, Alex. Yeah, look, we all want better. We really do. But we're glad that we can kind of, you know, we all love strongman, and we can have a little community, if you like, and keep coming up with ideas. We'll keep kind of suggesting things, and you never know. One day, maybe one day, it will be where we want it all to be.
At least we all have each other, if nothing else.
Indeed.
Loz, leave Liz and come to America. We'll take care of you here, says Marcel.
Thank you, Marcel. So, if I can get a better offer, perhaps we'll see.
We'll see. Dalton,
USA.
Click on that.
Which one? This one?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Dalton, thank you for the super chat. Went to World's Strongest Man last year for my first comp. It was epic. Had a great time, but I did miss the live streams with you guys. Luckily, I had plenty to listen to on the 8-hour drive home. I was looking back. I can't even remember why. I was looking for something in particular, but I was watching one of our old streams from last year, and God, we were invested. We were like,
I love this. People are fighting over
no.
me.
Loz and Liz are ours. Hands off. Yes. Thank you, Mrs. Diaz. Honestly, trying to break up a marriage now. Will Liz and Loz regard the winner of World's Strongest Man 2024 as the best strongman in the world?
I believe the best strongman in the world is Mitch Hooper, and I believe he will win. However, whoever wins, I will be the first to congratulate them and say they are awesome. I don't believe we can go off one competition to decide who is the absolute best in the world.
I think you have to go off like a year or two.
If you look at who I think is the greatest of all time, I think Zydrunas and Brian Shaw are the greatest of all time, closely followed by the likes of, Mariusz Pudzianowski, Thor, John-Paul Sigmarsson, Bill Kazmaier, Magnus Fern Magnusson, and not just because they won like one Worlds, but you've got to look at the whole collection of what they did. Jean-Paul Sigmarsson, I believe in 1990, should not have been the winner of World's Strongest Man. That was just one competition. I believe Odie Wilson was the best at that competition. However, when you look at the volume of comps that he did and what he won, he was amazing.
Yeah.
Jean-Paul was an incredible strongman. I tend to look at it like that to decide the best. I love World's Strongest Man. I think it has the most reach worldwide, but to me, it's still just one competition. Just like the Shaw Classic is just one competition. Just like the Arnold's is just one competition. When you can win everything, then you are the best.
Yeah.
So, like you look at tennis, for instance. When an athlete can win the French Open, the US Open, Wimbledon, the Australian Open, win all the majors, that's when they go to that GOAT status as one of the greatest of all time. And look at what Mitch has done in his last few comps. He's winning every major show there is. The only major show he hasn't won so far is the Shaw Classic, and he was second at that last year. Tom is a phenomenal athlete, and Tom suits World's Strongest Man, and he really is incredible and more than capable of winning Worlds. But I would rate Mitch better overall when you look at every single competition. That's my personal opinion, and I can do examples with other athletes. It's why I put Zydrunas as the best of all time, really, because he has won so many competitions against the absolute best in the world time and time again.
How would a stone off between Tom and Mitch go? That would be
a great battle, but I believe Tom would win it.
Yeah, Tom would win it.
Now, don't get me wrong, Mitch is the kind of person that will believe he can win it. That's what makes Mitch so special. But even as his friend and as his coach, me talking honestly with you guys, if I was going to part money, I'll put my money on Tom in that situation. If you said, here's $100,000, you've got to put it on someone, I would put it on Tom. Mitch would believe he could do it, though. That's what I love about Mitch. You can, you give him a challenge and he wants to prove people wrong. And likewise, if you give me that money to say who I think will win World's Strongest Man this year, I will put my money on Mitch.
This is an interesting question from Can't I Leave Her. What official role relating to World's Strongest Man would you welcome if you were offered it from IMG or Channel 5?
Presenting, I would do. I would actually, something I've I never would have used to wanted this, but refereeing.
Really?
Refereeing's a hard one. You've got to be strict as a referee. Do you know who I think would be a great referee?
Zydrunas.
Yes, I do. No offense to anyone else, but Zydrunas doesn't give a fuck. And he is a stickler for the rules. He also knows how to bend the rules. He's managed to get calls that shouldn't have been good before. You need someone that can do that because you need to know all the ways to cheat the rules. And yeah, I think Zadrunas would be a great referee.
I would take the role of organizer overall. I'd take Colin's role.
Colin is the athlete liaison, really, more than anything.
He's the what is it called? Event director.
Something like that.
Yeah, I'd take that role. Sorry, Colin. We could share it. There you go. Something in the background where I get to make lots of choices and try and persuade people.
Yeah.
Should have got Loz to model the purple shirt. What are we looking at? This one.
Yeah.
Over 800 people watching and only 100.
Over 900 watching now, guys. Please go and give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already.
Yes. If Evan beats Evan, he'll get podium this year.
Evan's biggest problem can be himself. We've seen that at World's Strongest Man before. However, last year he was great. And I think if Evan can turn up in shape, Evan's a problem for everyone. He could really cause problems, and they're good events for Evan.
Yeah, they're great events for Evan. Yeah. Adam just won Strongman Champions League Hungary. Was it a mistake to do that, or good last event training session?
I personally think if it was me, I wouldn't have done it. I don't think Adam is going to World's Strongest Man to cause any problems.
He's a late call-up.
He's a very late call-up.
Yeah, he is.
So I understand why he did what he did. To be honest, if you come 5th or 6th in your group at Worlds, you're not really making any money from it. I think he'll probably go to Worlds and use it as an opportunity to learn and hopefully know that he gets an early invite next year and prepare properly.
Put his name out
but
there.
Yeah, he was a very last minute call up. I think probably winning the SCL on the weekend was probably financially better for him than, bottom half of a group.
It's presumptuous, though. Who knows, Lozzie? Who knows?
Hey, if he's going to World's Strongest Man seriously, then yes, genuinely it's a mistake because there was a huge chance of risk in terms of injury. A competition is not, at that level, it's not you taking it easy. He won that competition on the weekend, so he clearly tried, and the risk to, if Mitch did that the week before, I'd be furious.
Yeah.
If Tom did it, I'm sure his coach would be furious. Yeah. If Evan did it, I'm sure, you've got to think, okay, I'm here to do something big. Yeah. I'm trying to win. If you're just going there to make up some numbers, then sure, do it. But if you are there as a genuine contender, then yes, it's stupid.
If Bobby gets the group of death this year, we riot.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Bobby's a threat, but he needs the right group. He does. Bobby can do very well on certain events in the final. He's got some great events in the heats. A stone off against a good stone lifter will hurt him. I mean, he's been in a stone off before against some of the best. I mean, okay, he was against Brian and it seemed to just mess up. He's been against Tom before, wasn't he? Was it you saying to me?
Yeah, he's been against Tom. Yeah.
He needs someone not like one of them.
Rough stone offs. Yeah. If you move to the USA, which state would you go to?
There's a few places I like. I'd love to travel the States and see more of it. I really like Texas.
Yeah, I like Texas.
I like Florida. I'm not so keen on some of the busier type.
No, Florida's pretty wild though. Actually, I really like the Carolinas. Somewhere coastal like that would be nice. That would work. Yeah.
But I'd love to travel more of the States because it's such a huge country and there's so much to see.
Yeah. Where are we? Hey, Loz and Liz, when are we likely to get more biography videos? The video of Jean-Paul and Bill were amazing.
We have loads planned, and after Worlds, we've got Magnus Ver Magnuson will be the next one.
And Magnus, bless him, Europe's Strongest Man, he came to our room and sat down and I asked him,
for you and everything.
Yeah, he did. So I can use his story in his own words. So I'm really excited to do that one because I've got a lot more.
We have loads of those planned. So I'm glad people are enjoying them.
Yeah. She might move the Conans a meter. I wouldn't. It's 200 kilos in the hands. I ain't moving it.
I've seen strongmen pick that up and stumble backwards.
I was going to say, if I'm allowed to push it, maybe, but I'm not picking it up. Evan looks and acts very similar to Vasil Verastic. Whatever happened to that guy?
He's into politics and stuff like that.
He's an MP in Ukraine, and he Like, I mean, since
I used to love watching Vasil.
Yeah, he's been visiting soldiers at like borders and stuff like that, and doing you know, bringing stuff for them, and he's been doing all sorts of work. If you follow him on his Instagram, he's actually really active on there, isn't he? If you want to see what he's up to, he's badass though. I really like Vasil.
Yeah, he's cool. I'm no Jedi. How would Loz do at World? Same weights right now, terrible. In my prime, they're not bad events for me this year.
They would have been nice events.
Yeah, the events in the heat and the final, other than maybe the throw and the stones in the final, the rest of the events were good. I say I was good at Viking press. I was really good at Viking press when you faced
inwards,
the machine.
Yeah.
Not so good facing out. And just so people understand the differences, you can get a lot more leg drive into a facing. I've beaten some of the best in the world facing the machine. When you're facing away, it's a bit more shoulder and tricep orientated. Very good at yoke and frame, very good at stone walks. Deadlift was solid. Actually, Axel was one of my best overheads. So yeah, in my prime, I would have liked these events. Now I would do shit. Hey, it is what it is. We all get past our best.
When does World's Strongest Man start? I pay close attention and still don't know the exact dates. Do you know what? Every day he says to me, what date's the World's? What date's the World's? It's the 1st to the 5th of May.
It starts on Wednesday.
Yes. Friday, the 3rd of May, is the day off in between the heats and the finals, which is perfect for us because it's Lewis's 15th birthday. So that works out nicely. But yes, 2 days of heats, 2 days of finals with a day off in the middle. Starts on Wednesday.
Indeed. Let's hope so.
I will be 75 then, but still. Where are we? How old is Jaakko Skumvinkel?
I don't know, but I'll try and find out quickly for you.
I don't think he's that old. I think he's like 32. See if I'm right. Very exciting.
Where is he?
Jaakko. Lars can't find him on the archives.
There he is.
Any advances on 32?
He is 19. No, he's 32.
Ah, there you go.
Auntie Liz.
I know everyone's business.
Age radar.
I have an age radar.
How old's Matt Rag?
He is also younger than me. I think he is 32.
He is.
He is, yeah. Throw me another.
How old's Rauno?
41.
How old's Andre?
22.
How old's Mitch?
28.
Okay, you're very good at this.
Thank you.
Trey Mitchell, how old's he?
30.
Yes.
Right, stop now. I'm on a roll. Stop now.
How old are our kids?
I don't know. 14 and 6. Where are we? Ronan, thank you for the super chat. WWE signed Raw to a Netflix deal starting in 2025. Could this be our best option to get a World's Strongest Man stream if a big streaming platform takes it on board?
Potentially, yes. Yeah. I think a company like that could afford maybe to buy the rights out or to come up with some deal certainly could be an option that happens in the future.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Scottish Chris, for gifting 10 memberships. Very generous.
Thank you very much.
Bless you all. Everyone thanking Chris. That is a lot of gifts. That's very generous.
So
thank
kindly.
you.
Thank you.
Someone said, "Gotta love Fred's optimism," and someone else said, "What is Fred smoking?" What was your comment, Fred?
I'm guessing Fred did his All-American predictions.
Mitch is getting 4th place, and we'll have an All-American podium.
For those that are regular, Cousin Fred is obviously a regular of the channel, someone that supports us very well, but his predictions are terrible. I wouldn't be getting your money out and kind of going to the bookies going off Fred's predictions. Love you, Fred. But he is a patriotic man that will always support the American. He probably thinks 1st to 9th will be American. Sod Mitch coming in 4th.
Big Bang Beery, can you see Tom and Mitch not making the podium barring injury?
No.
I can't see either of them off that podium.
You have to understand they're both going to be the number 1 and 2 seed. So essentially, they are most likely going to get the 10th and 9th seed in their group, whoever that may be.
Yeah.
You know, you can argue who you think the 8th and 9th, 10th seeds are.
Yeah.
But they're going to get the weakest seeds on paper. And then they're just too good at this competition. I feel, you know, anything is possible. I think Tom has such security with the stones as a banker, even if he messes up some events. And I hope neither of them get injured. You know, obviously that can happen to anyone at World's Strongest Man, but all being well, I really can't see them not making the final.
Monica, Loz, are you trying to take my man's job? Excited/disgusted.
No, I'm quite happy for him to stick with it.
And that was it. That was what I was thinking of. Tournament director. There you go. But to be honest, I'd just be happy to be in that little gang of people that puts the groups together and stuff like that.
Do you know what? I'd be happy to be sat here doing what we're doing, watching it live.
Okay.
I would be more than happy doing that.
Yeah. All right, Monica with the members. Oh, yeah, there you go. So she's commented the same thing with our members comment. Sorry, I already caught it, Monica.
No, I'm quite happy for him to still be in that position, taking all the bad calls that people give him shit for. It's the worst job. Being the referee is genuinely
it's kind of a thankless job, isn't it?
And I love Magnus, but you know, he's never going to get praised for doing a good job. And the minute he does something wrong, everyone's going to be on top of him.
Do you know what?
So I hope he always knows that we do think he's very good at what he does. And we're going to keep calling him out if he gets something wrong, because we have to.
He asks us after competition. He'll come, how was my refereeing? Like in a just a fun way. But I always go out of my way to say to Magnus if I think he did a good job of.
And he does. You know, if you think how many times Magnus referees, he does a great job. Everyone makes mistakes, and it's very difficult when you've got to do it so many times. And the thing is, now we're watching everything, whereas back in the day when people were refereeing, no one could see what was happening.
No,
you know, now we're all calling things out straight away. Yeah. Well, but that's because the sport's grown. You know, it's not a bad thing that people are calling these things out, but we can't see the same thing watching from a tiny little screen or someone's phone as you can see when you're there in person. But yeah, you know, there's more money involved. We want better calls. We need people to be doing a good job. And you know, if you look at other sports, we do have to learn. Like, I think this is what's genuinely wrong with strongman in terms of refereeing. There is not an official set of rules. So every competition, World's Strongest Man, the Arnolds, Rogue, you know, Shaw Classic, they've all got a slightly different set of rules.
Yeah.
So we don't know what we're looking for half the time because we've not been in the rules meeting.
No.
And people watching haven't been in the rules meeting. Yeah. So there's confusion there, and I think that's one of the problems.
Yeah. Cousin Fred, thank you for the super chat. World's Strongest Man is here. Last we had the same deal as last year.
What deal did we have last year?
Can you remind? You don't have to super chat it, but could you remind Loz of the deal that you?
I can't remember what I did last week, Fred. Half the time.
No, I can't remember what you did this morning.
What did we do this morning? I'm joking.
Is that Jeremy? Thank you for the super chat. Who do you think during their career was the most influential to the sport, and who was the most influential after their career? Who do you think has had the most influence that never competed? Oh, interesting. During their career, I'd probably say Brian.
Influence in what way?
Influential.
I'd say Eddie has had a huge influence on the sport.
So there's two, one during, one after their career, and then someone who's had the most influence that never actually competed.
I think Eddie during his career.
Yeah,
because he put so many eyes on the sport.
Who after their career then?
I think I've done a good job after my career.
Oh,
I genuinely
throwing
do.
Your hat in there, yeah.
I think more people know of me
as a
post strongman than they did pre. You know.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one, but I think to be fair, I've done a good job of still promoting the sport as hard as I can, better than I did as an athlete.
The most influential
that's never competed.
I mean,
you know, sorry to interrupt you, but like, you know, maybe Darren is great.
But he competes.
No. But I'm saying instead of me.
Yeah.
Darren has done a lot for the sport with what he's done with Giants Live, I guess. Depends how you look at it. You know, what have people done? I mean, Darren needs a lot of thanks from a lot of people because he's done an amazing job with Giants Live. In terms of never competing, probably more some of the, you know, older people in the sport.
Maybe someone like Jan Todd, like she was a
Jan's
powerlifter.
done a lot. Trying to think of some of the people, like names and stuff from the past.
Because even Colin Bryce has competed.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
he's
a lot of them have
stepped
competed
on stage, not stepped on stage, but he's competed at World's Strongest Man.
Yeah,
he was
for an event.
Yeah,
but he has competed. He did Britain's
he competed at Britain's
Strongest
Man, obviously.
Someone like Jan Todd then.
Dave Webster. Dave Webster.
Yes.
He's certainly someone that
Douglas Edmonds.
Barry
Frank.
Yeah,
like there's creators.
It's a difficult question, but there's a lot of people, and a lot of people that have done in all of those roles. Brian is a great example of someone that's done a lot during his career. Because there's been amazing athletes that didn't really do anything with it. They didn't sort of help the sport. They were just great athletes. But there's athletes that have done a lot for the sport as well. So. Yeah. And there's a lot of people, that have never competed that are doing amazing things behind the scenes for the sport. Lynn Morehouse does an amazing job. There's lots of people. There's probably a whole
has competed,
but not a World's Strongest Man.
No.
What I'm saying, there's so many people you could kind of throw into that. I don't think it's just a one person answer.
Yeah.
But thank you very much. It's a good debate to be thinking about.
Yeah. Hip flipping mama here. Which current competitor would you like to get your coaching hands on and mold?
Do you know what? I'm very happy with the competitors that I have and wish all three of my guys at World's Strongest Man the best of luck. I'm enjoying also coaching a lot more grassroots up and coming athletes. That's something I really enjoy, helping that, transition from beginner to intermediate to open level and seeing the kind of process. So someone's training the absolute top guys can be very stressful. Three of them is enough at Worlds.
Drew saying, will you be doing a live play-by-play? Yes, we will. So it's kind of like Strongman Radio.
Yeah.
But done in a really amateur way. When did John Inverdale stop presenting World's Strongest Man? God, they've gone through so many.
Yeah, John Inverdale when it was back on BBC.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, wasn't it?
He was good fun.
Where are we? Loz, the guy that got the F5 tattoo is your client. Oh, I didn't know that.
I haven't seen the picture. Like you just kind of told me it was something. So.
Yeah. Oh, which client was it?
I don't know.
That's so funny. Gavin Bruce. Hi, Loz and Liz.
Hey, Gav, how you doing, buddy? Qualified for Scotland's Strongest Man yesterday.
Oh, well done, Gav. Was it him? Did you get a tattoo? Adam Scott, thank you for the super chat. Good evening, Liz and Loz. I'm so hoping for Luke to make the podium this year. He is looking in the best shape I've seen him in and has his family with him to give him that
He's looking great.
Spicy. Yeah, I'm excited for Luke this year. I think I think the groups especially, the events are really nice for him. So hopefully he can get through nice and fresh. And see what he can do in the final. He's got some good events in the final too. Oh, what? Someone said Fred can dream. Did Fred comment?
It's always his predictions, isn't it?
Oh, I thought maybe it was about the bet that you and him made.
No, I think they're talking about his predictions.
Next, Liz will give weight and social security number info as well. Thank you, Alfred Scott. No. I'm not that good, but it's because actually
it'd be creepy if you knew those.
No, I've been doing all of my homework and data gathering for our Meet the Athlete series, which is going to start tomorrow, by the way. So only 4 videos this year. It's going to be UK, USA, Europe, and rest of the world. But looking at the athletes, giving a bit of a some quick facts about the group of athletes that we have there, and then going into the events, what people's results are. And I happened to get all of their ages while I was at it.
You do, you're good with all that stats and stuff.
Yeah, I'm good at remembering stats. Can't remember where my keys are though.
No, you're useless at that.
Yeah. Someone said Jan Todd.
Jan Todd, Dougie Edmonds.
That's a grizzly.
Liz, someone that's done a lot that doesn't compete.
I don't know, man. Liz. I just remember the stats. Read all the stuff.
Most influential never to compete, Auntie Liz.
Very sweet. I disagree, but very sweet. Thank you. There are a lot of people that have done a lot more than me, but that's very kind. People like, very quiet people behind the scenes. Eloa, he runs the Strongman Archives, keeps track of the history of the sport for us all, runs the our Strongman, which is the biggest strongman forum in the world.
It's cool that a lot of people have said this, Thor, because they actually found Strongman after seeing him in Game of Thrones,
I was
which is
going to
cool.
throw Thor into that mix.
There you go.
Eloa, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I agree.
Eloa from Strongman Arco for sure.
Yeah.
What's that? Eloa's partner with
Bill.
Bill.
Yeah, Bill Henderson. Yeah.
Yeah. Liz, you look fit today.
Oh, thank you.
I'm saying it, not him.
Oh. Alejandro, thank you for the super chat. Need advice? I'm social, but I don't want combos in the gym. I try to avoid this person because I want to train and go home. Awake at 5:30 and gym 6:30 to 7 and train 1.5 hours. And I'm prepped for the second meet. Massive headphones.
Yeah, if I don't want people to talk to me in the gym, I put headphones on.
Very visible ones.
I don't put big visible ones on, but I've actually, I'm usually very friendly in the gym, but a lot of people try and talk to me. So sometimes if I'm on my own and I don't want people to talk to me, I will put headphones on and I just basically ignore everyone. And maybe it comes across as rude, but I try not to be rude. And if anyone wants to talk to me afterwards, that's fine. And often when I'm kind of doing big group sessions where I've got athletes down, I try and chat to everyone and stuff.
Yeah.
But sometimes people have to understand that you're restricted on time. You're there to train. Mm. And there's people that have come up to me. Oh, did you? I was shouting at you in the gym the other day. I was like, oh, sorry, I didn't notice. And that's genuine. I haven't ignored that person on purpose. I'm just in there. I might only be able to squeeze in an hour, and I want to get it done. So I don't think you need to apologize or anything. Just put headphones on, obviously focus on what you're doing.
I don't know if they still sell them, but Explosive 8 had some t-shirts that on the back said, don't talk to me. And also rest in bitch face goes a really long way. It does. Yeah, slight scowl and a sneer. I say, I smile at everyone. Hi, morning.
Yeah. Cybernetics, Strongman, hey, Loz and Liz. If Strongman had a rule book, how would you keep it from becoming overly strict? Some powerlifting feds in powerlifting, you miss a lift for infringing on the tiniest details. This is true. I certainly don't think we need to kind of get anal like some of the powerlifting federations. You can fail a lift in a powerlifting federation because the loop from your wrist wrap is still on your finger, or you can have the wrong socks and stuff like that. It gets a bit ridiculous. You move a toe and you fail a lift. So I don't think things like that, but I think if we had a genuine understanding of what we are looking for in terms of a good lift, and rules that are the same across the board. So for instance, at the Arnold's, if you lift the barbell before the 60 seconds or before the time limit runs out, you can complete that lift. In World's Strongest Man, that is not the rule. If your time runs out, your time runs out. And I think having a set of rules that's the same across would just make things a little bit easier for us as fans, particularly fans that are more general fans.
Yeah.
Because the more complicated it is, then the harder it is. So I certainly don't think we need to go into some crazy long list of rules. However, we want uniformity between competitions. What is expected to be a good lift in this competition should be the same in this competition. Yeah. That's what I want to see.
Butthead, is this? Butthead, thank you for the super chat. First impression of facing Thor and Shaw in a competition?
One of my first competitions. One of my
your first worlds. You were in
I was in a group with Brian. He was just another competitor to me. Thor, a little bit different because he was much younger. No, he was fat. When I first met Thor, he was fat.
No, Brian was much skinnier than in 2008.
Brian
if you look back in the old videos.
Brian and myself are similar age.
Thor was fat.
And he was.
I know. We used to call him Monster Baby.
Yeah. but Thor came after me. Thor's younger than me, so I was here and he was kind of chasing. Whereas Brian and myself started at a similar time. So there was and to be honest, there never was. I wasn't someone that was fazed by fame or how good someone was. I was very competitive and just saw them as my opposition. I am more impressed as a fan now than I was as a competitor. As a competitor, my mentality changes completely. I'm like, I don't give a hell who this person is. I am going to beat them. And that's how you should be as a competitor. But as a fan, it's very different. And I think a lot more objectively. I admire what they've done. Super impressed with both of them. Amazing athletes. But when you are a competitor, you are there to win. I have managed to beat every single athlete in the world at certain events. You know, I've beaten most athletes at competitions. Brian is one of the few that I can say I've never beaten in a full competition. However, I've beaten him in many individual events. So yeah, I never put anyone on a pedestal ever, because if you do that straight away, you have lost. And if you are an athlete going to World's Strongest Man, do not put the likes of Mitch Hooper, Tom Stoltman, Evan Singleton on a pedestal. You should be focusing on your lane, doing the best that you can, because there are humans that can make mistakes. My first ever Worlds, I was against Mariusz Pudzianowski on a loading event. I turned my back to him. I knew how good he was. There's no point in me thinking about that. I turned my back to him. I focused on the job at hand. It ended up being a photo finish on the loading event. The way I look back then, no one would even give me a blink of an eye of having a chance of beating Mariusz at any event. I actually beat him on a few events. And to almost beat him on that first event gave me a lot of confidence. And when you watch back, it was a photo finish. They gave it to Mariusz, but if you look again, it was pretty close.
I'm going to have to go frame by frame, Lozzie.
Yeah. But you know, you can't worry about who you're up against. I can tell you from experience, because I've had bad days as a competitor. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know if they're injured. You don't know what they've gone through in terms of personal, experience before a competition. You as an athlete should focus on one job, and that's doing the best that you can.
Can't I leave it?
All American Podium, he gets Liz.
No
there
way.
You go.
Sorry, Fred. Not for sale.
Well, I've got two very. Well, I mean, obviously, I believe Mitch is there to win, but one of my favorite strongmen is Tom Stoltman from the UK, and I'm going to be keeping my fingers crossed that both of them can keep my wife with me in the UK.
Tom and Mitch, I need your help now more than ever. It's funny because we went to Bucky's with Fred, and I accidentally got locked in the back of his truck. No, it was child locks. I'm sure it was a complete accident. It's so funny. Oh, you'd soon send me back.
Do you know what? Obviously, I coach Bobby, and I think Bobby would throw getting on the podium to save you.
Do you think he would? Do you think he likes me that much?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Bobby, for this hypothetical. Can't I leave her? Always having great questions. Is there an athlete at World's Strongest Man that Loz thinks should not be there, a la Manuel Angulo from a couple of years back?
No. I mean, the last few athletes to go, it was a difficult choice. There's athletes I think should be there or should have had invites, but there's no one I think that doesn't deserve to be there.
Yeah.
Everyone at Worlds is a very good athlete. And I really like Manuel. Spoken to him a number of times. Great guy, but yeah, he should not have been there.
No, he shouldn't have. He is a very sweet man.
Very nice man.
No, he shouldn't have been there. No.
But there's been other guys at Worlds that shouldn't have been there as well. But in more recent years, that's happening less and less because we have so many great athletes now. There was a guy that did a bodybuilding comp and then just went to World's Strongest Man, and he was terrible. I can't remember his name. I apologize, but he was terrible.
Who was this?
I can't remember his name, but the guy was shredded. He looked incredible.
What competition was this?
This is going back years at World's Strongest Man. If anyone can remember his name, comment.
Well, yeah.
90s of something.
Okay.
He was terrible.
Yeah.
Like, probably if you competed, you wouldn't have done any worse.
Yeah, we'd have both zeroed everything.
Yeah.
But
you kind of wonder what was going through their head to put this guy into the competition. I don't think he'd ever done a strongman event in his life.
Really? Yeah.
Looked phenomenal.
Thankfully, that sort of thing doesn't happen anymore. But we did see it, like, especially when it used to travel around more and they'd put a local person in. Probably just someone walking to the shop. Do you want to be in a competition?
When I competed in China,
yeah,
they put a couple of Chinese guys in. I had a Chinese guy in my group. I apologize because I can't remember his name. Really nice guy. But you're walking around at World's Strongest Man with a 300-kilo deadlift top on. It's not the best place in the world to walk around with a 300-kilo deadlift.
Especially since we've
got 300
Masters,
deadlift club.
Yeah, we've got Masters women deadlifting that. So, yeah. 300 kilos is
it's a
deadlift.
great lift,
Yeah.
but at World's Strongest Man, that's not the place to be walking around with that t-shirt on.
Yeah.
He did the squat in our group, and he unracked it, and he did a good negative, and then just stayed at the bottom.
Curtis left.
That's the one. There you go.
Okay.
Good man, cantilever. Thank you very much.
There you go.
That is the one. Good man. Sorry, Curtis.
That's
but
so funny.
it's true. You should not have been at Worlds. That would be like me being at Mr. Olympia.
I wonder what Curtis is doing now. We should get him on the channel.
I think this guy would agree with me. He probably wonders what he was doing there himself.
Just like stack it in.
Yeah. He was probably on the beach, kind of like topping up his tan.
Yeah.
And they
That
were
guy
like,
looks
"Oh,
great."
He looks strong. Let's get him into
Yeah.
to World's Strongest Man. He's like, oh, that sounds fun.
Oh no. He passed away age 36 in
that's a shame.
1998. That is sad.
Okay.
Oh,
I feel bad now. I'm a terrible person.
fucking hell. That is bad. Right. That's a good time to wrap up this live stream. My goodness.
He looked phenomenal.
Good. We love you, Loz and Liz. Smashing publicity. Thank you. So these next couple of days, then there's lots of content coming out. We've got 4 Meet the Athletes videos, which are coming out over the next 2 days. The official groups we're going to go through and do our predictions for who's going to make it into the World's Strongest Man final. And then, of course, the live stream starts on Wednesday. So very exciting time. On the Friday, we're going to do our comparison video to see how they would have compared against each other, and of course our finals prediction too. So exciting times. We hope you guys will join us as much as you're able to anyway. Love it.
Awesome. Have a good week, guys. We'll obviously see you lots over the next few weeks.
Yeah.
This next week anyway.
Yes.
Probably want to break from everyone. If they'll want to break from
I'm
us,
having
we'll
a
want to
week
break
off afterwards. I need it.
back to doing some of the profiles.
Yeah, I'll work on Magnus for a week. There we go.
Right, guys. Take care. Thank you again. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe to the channel. We'll catch you guys in the week. Have an awesome rest of your weekend for those that still